Hello family, Benedict here. Welcome to the Riven channel. Happy New Year too. We took a short break, but we are back. Today we're going to look at habits that affect our health negatively. What are some of the habits that you think affect your health negatively? When it comes to health, we do have physical, we have emotional, we have psychological. To begin with, we start with habits that affect our health physically. Let's start with this. Sitting all day. How long do you sit in a day? Is your work the sitting type? Or is your work the type that makes you move around? Sometimes we do sit for hours without moving, and that also causes us to, not to lose so many calories. So it contributes to getting fat and then not being very much active. The second one we are going to look at is excessive screen time. We are all victims to this. Social media, other platforms, we are always on our phones, laptops, and other sources that we also look at. We intend spending more time on the media than even exercising and doing other physical activities. Some of us usually watch series, TV programs and other things for long hours. We can do that, but we need to, limit them. Because sitting for long hours also contributes negatively to our health. And then eating junk food. The pizzas, the burgers, they are all nice. I wouldn't say you should stop eating them, but there should be a way around them. You shouldn't be eating them daily. Once in a while you can go to those foods, but let's limit how many times we take them in a day, or let's say in a week. What do you see here? You see here a glass containing something. In order not to get legal issues with any brand or anything, we just poured it in a glass and then we're using it for this session. This is beer. Mostly people take like 6 bottles, 7 bottles. Some even take more in a week. Some even take like 4 or 5 bottles in a day. Is it good? Is it good for our health, or is it bad for our health? Let's look at it this way. The alcohol that we consume isn't needed by our body. Rather, the alcohol that is needed by the body is gotten from the food we eat through digestion. We get them from carbohydrate foods and foods in that region. So you don't need to take in so much alcohol to add to the system. The system is already having some forms of pressure, so you don't need to add more to it. Doing this, leads to so many health conditions, and it's also let's say a catalyst for other conditions in the body. Too much alcohol can increase your blood pressure. It's not healthy for diabetic people that have psychological issues and the rest. Too much of alcohol doesn't help our system in general. Let's go to healthy sex life. As young people, we do have feelings. Others are in a relationship, others find themselves in marriages, etc. But those who are not married, and if you don't have a single partner that you stay with, how do you protect yourselves from getting diseases and other infections? We are talking about STIs here. How many of us even use this? We all know what this is. How many of us use this in protecting ourselves? There's a popular thing that people would say, you can't take toffees with a wrapper on. But this is a different scenario that you need to protect yourselves no matter what. You wouldn't know what you are getting from the person you are having, unprotected sex with. So we should try as much as possible to protect ourselves by using condoms and other forms of barrier methods to protect ourselves. Now let's go to smoking. Now we have these devices called vapes. Aside vapes, we have shisha, others call them hookah. We also have, I think, the balloons that people also use, all in the name of getting high. We have cigarettes, we have weed. There are so many substances that people smoke in, and these are also harmful to our health. And then we need to, as much as possible, do away with them. Now let's go to this part that's also very, very much important. Going for checkups. You do not necessarily have to be sick or find yourself in a compromised position before you visit your doctor for health care or for checkups. Let's try as much as possible to at least go for checkups 2 or 3 times in a year, just to make sure we are okay and then we are taking good care of ourselves. We also need to balance work with family life. You cannot focus so much on work that you neglect your family or friends, because putting yourself so much into work is also good, but then you need a break. You need time for your family, you need time for friends. All those contribute to a healthy mental being. Psychologically, when you focus so much on health, you tend to neglect other sides of life, and that also affects you. Okay, so with all that being said, let's quickly look at high blood pressure and how these factors affect them. To begin with, let's explain what blood pressure is. Blood pressure in itself isn't the disease. Blood pressure refers to the pressure of circulating blood against the walls of the blood vessels. Most of this pressure results from the heart pumping blood through the circulatory system. Therefore, every human being has blood pressure. So blood pressure in itself isn't a disease. Well, the diseases of this are the high blood pressure, which is known as hypertension, and the low blood pressure, which is hypotension. But the high blood pressure is very common, and that's what most of us know. But low blood pressure is, it's not common to see such a condition, but it exists anyway. So with high blood pressure, we all know what it does and then how it affects the body. High blood pressure is, we look at the parameters of high blood pressure. Mostly we have the systolic and the diastolic. Let's take it this way. Anytime you go to the hospital, we have this machine that they use in checking your blood pressure. That machine is known as sphygmomanometer. And then now we have the manual and then we have the digital. You can easily get the digital at home, at your workplace, or anywhere that you can be tracking your BP yourself. And let's now look at the parameters of the blood pressure. Ideally, normal blood pressure is considered between 90-60 mmHg and then 120-80 mmHg. But sometimes if it's 130, 135, 90, it's considered as normal. So any of the figures below these ones and high above these ones are a bit of concern, especially with high blood pressure. When you hit around 130, 90, 130, 140 going and above, that's high blood pressure. How do you treat high blood pressure? High blood pressure is treated with antihypertensives. Today we wouldn't go much into the drugs that are used in treating them, but high blood pressure is treated with antihypertensives. And the low blood pressure also has its own drugs. In that situation, drugs that enhance the blood pressure are given to boost up the pressure a little bit. And then we have lifestyle changes to help these conditions as well. With people having high blood pressure, that's hypertension, we mostly look at salt intake, spicy foods, anything that's going to increase the pressure in the system is to be avoided or cut down. And then we also have low blood pressure, and surprisingly those in that category, we advise them to engage in activities or take things that would shoot the pressure up a little bit, because the low blood pressure is also not too good for our health. That's a little bit about hypertension and how these lifestyle acts affect hypertension. Thanks for watching. This brings us to the end of today's show. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share and also drop your comments. This program is sponsored by Deribend Consulting, an IT and business management firm. Their services will roll after this. Thank you once again and expect more from us this year. Bye. Until next time.